about this video. We're going to talk about our update on our garden. We're also going to talk about Pelee Island. We had a little road trip to Pelee Island. I had to do some work out there, and I was able to take a few videos of some of the things that I was able to see. I'm going to give you a little small snapshot of Pelee Island. If you've never been to Pelee Island, you should go. It's a different world out there. Not a lot of stuff open, so it's only essential travel right now. But once it opens up, and if you've never been to Pelee Island, I would make the trip. And it's very, very different and very interesting. We're also going to talk about bees. I was trying to film my first Oriole about 3 weeks ago when they arrived, and it took me by surprise. I heard a giant swarm of bees. I thought it was somebody with a weed whacker, out in the marsh, but it turned out to be a giant swarm. So I took a video of the swarm. It was massive. They were all trying to attach to a queen up there. It ended up being a huge hive, not a hive, but a huge swarm. And then I got a call the next day from a camper worried about campers being stung. So I gave her a number to a beekeeper I know, and we were able to get that beekeeper out there and capture the bees. And now he's got 10,000 bees. The bees are happy, and they're really good producing bees. And we were able to save the bees, save the campers. So we've got some videos of that too. And then of course the update on the garden. We put the sweet potatoes in. We've got our Yukon Golds in. We're actually producing strawberries off our strawberry plants now. And the Thai peppers are like, they're ready to eat. I'm gonna wait till they turn red. A lot going on. Lots been going on here, so let's get to it. All right. Here's my first Oriole of the season that I got a video of about 3 weeks back now when they arrived. You probably were here before, for a while. Here's a trailer that had the swarm of bees way up high in a pine tree. So it took me a while. I was pretty nervous when I started hearing all that humming. I didn't know where they were, because if you're down low and they're humming and swarming like that, you could get stung real easy. Because there was no noise, and all of a sudden there was a noise. So they had just arrived when I started filming this. So what happens is the queen lands somewhere, and all the bees swarm around her, attached to her to protect her, and then she eventually finds a spot to make a hive. So, and the hive can swarm about I've seen them as big as a city block. Let's listen to Tiffany and see what she has to say about this. She took this video.
Massive clumps of bees on the saplings yesterday, but they've been down, they've been here I think since partly yesterday. Oh, listen to them. Some angry bees. Bunch fell onto the trees too. Oh my gosh.
So anytime when I'm out there and I run into bees, I always call a beekeeper to try and get the bees. There are times that it doesn't happen, they're not able to get them, but we always try and save the bees. Driving out in the county, I noticed all kinds of blossoms on all the fruit trees. So they're doing really well this year, and hopefully we have lots of fruit. Okay, so what do we got in here? We've decided to go with Brussels sprouts, quite a big plant. But what we're looking for is things that freeze. That's why we're going with the beans, we're going with the beets, we're going with the Brussels sprouts, broccoli, we can freeze that also. Our goal is to have a sustainable harvest throughout the winter. Even though we're going to have things growing, only certain things can grow in the winter time. And then that's never guaranteed because we got that -30 and we had a bit of a die-off. We've already got buds on here. We took a guess at which ones we were supposed to cut back and which ones we weren't. Michelle did the cutting. She said, I don't know if I got it right. It looks like she got it right because everything she left has got berries, little buds for berries producing, and it looks like it's going to be a really big crop. This is our third season. The first season we didn't get nothing. You don't. The second season you pull off some berries, and the third season, well, we've been whacking this thing back like crazy every year, so it's taking up this whole corner. It's our sweet potatoes and our Yukon Gold. We put 6 inches of soil at the bottom, put the seed potatoes down, put 4 inches on top, let them grow, and then we just added more soil to it. And these things seem to grow like, they grow like crazy. It's just taking off like crazy. And then we got some mulch on top. So we're not gonna go any higher with the soil than that. That's debatable. I thought maybe we put more soil. Michelle's happy with that much soil. So we're gonna get all kinds of potatoes underneath there. Our sweet potatoes back here, maybe later on I'll show you how we put them in. But here's our sweet potatoes. They're growing up. We put this down, and then it just grows over this all the time. So just gonna maybe put that down, but these things are growing really good. So let's take a closer look at this. Here's our Yukon Gold potatoes that we got from the neighbor we put in, and they're going excellent. So yeah, they were doing very, very well. We got some mulch that we made from our little chipper we've got. So we put that down, and then our sweet potatoes are in here. Okay. We've got carrots coming up, and we use a technique for the carrots where you put a board over top and you cover them up, and then in 5 days, so you wet it down, you put your seeds down, you put a board over top of it, and in 5 days later you check to see if you're going to have anything. What we watched is you're not going to have anything, but fortunately in our case, because we got really good soil here with the raised beds and the way we made our soil, we've got they came up in 5 days. They were probably up in 4, and they're a little lanky because we took the board off, so now they got to green up. But yeah, we got a whole row of carrots like crazy. Of course, our oregano, our chives we've been using regularly. Rosemary, we don't have a big call for the rosemary. Michelle's basil, our chocolate mint, beautiful stuff. Again, and these are all the things that, again, we had this actually come up in our garden because we had it in a pot near our garden. It's seeded, and it dropped some the mint and started to spread. So we pulled it, threw a bunch out, and we potted this because it's quite delicious. Okay, we have some different types of lettuce here. We've got our broccoli that's forming heads already. We've got a look at more broccoli. So we got another head of broccoli. This heat is not good for them. And then we have here's a kohlrabi. I wonder, finger in the way. There's a kohlrabi, and you actually eat that little piece. And then we've got our rutabaga. Okay, and for markings, I just left the pots. I left the pots in the soil, so I know where they were, and I didn't remark. We planted our cucumbers. They've already got flowered. Now we put these in from seed, and here's one I've just put in here to keep cool because a little pot like this is drying out. I'm gonna get this in the ground. So, and as you can see, we've got flowers on here already. So these cucumbers are doing really well. And I'm gonna get these in a pot. I've got to recondition some soil here to make everything look good. But we're gonna have these cucumbers climb up the trellis here. So we've got, our beets are growing really well. They actually started to flower, so we cut the flowers off. We got other beets growing the second row. We'll be pulling these, you know, once they get, they're pretty good size now. So we're gonna start pulling these soon to give these guys more light. These guys are still getting light, but we want more light. So we got okra in the front. These kind of grow like a sunflower seed, or a plant. They'll grow straight up and light can still get through. So we put them out and they're huge producers. I recommend going to the store, buying some okra, trying it out, and then multiply that times 2 when you're doing your own, when you're growing your own, because it's so much better. So our onions are doing well. They're massive. I found out that if you take your onions, remove the soil, they actually get bigger. If the soil's packed around the onion, they're not going to get as big. But if you clean the soil up around it, they puff up, and it's just amazing in a couple of weeks how much fatter these onions got. Okay, now here's our massive onions right here. So what we actually do is remove the dirt from around the bulb, like this. We pull that away, and then these onions actually get fatter. So if you're growing onions, and once they get a certain size, these actually were from last. These I planted these in the winter time, and they're pretty big. This is, yeah, and I topped these because they were flowering. And back here we've got beans. We put in some more beans, so we're gonna have some beans. And let's go check the other bed. Our next bed here, we've got our tomatoes. We bought these tomatoes. We're gonna let them grow up. They're a tall, bushy plant. They're gonna block out any kind of sun that happens back here. We ended up putting some turnips in here, and we got them covered up, try and keep the squirrels out. And we don't have anything planted here yet. I'm sure it won't be long. In our last bed going this way, we put eggplants in the back. We've had some bugs eating that. We put some snails, we believe. We put some slug bait down. So we got all our peppers that we grew. We grew from seed. Our jalapeno peppers here and our in the middle there, doing well. I just topped them to have them bush out, because you can see they're quite lanky. These ones are a little bit too small to snap. This one's not too bad, but I'll probably top these all at the same time. The Thai peppers that we took the tops off are really bushy, and they're just loaded with peppers right now. It's just so much advanced. So let's go take a closer look at what's going on with these peppers. These guys haven't been, I just topped these, so you can see how lanky they are. So now that they've been topped, they should bush out and look more like our Thai peppers. And so we're just teeming with flowers and fruit here. So this, yeah, we just got all kinds of peppers on here. Strawberries are already in bloom. Not only in bloom, but producing fruit. I've already had a few strawberries here. I haven't put them in my shake. I've just been eating them right off here. Bird got a couple too. So we got some competition here. Well, our trip to Pelee Island. Here we are on the ferry. This is the Pelee Islander, the old boat. And then there's also the Digimon. I believe that's retired, or emergency services. And then they have the Pelee Islander 2, the brand new ferry. We got some pictures of that. Got a little fire going on, enjoying the sunset. Out the Westview's got a couple of cottages and a motel with several rooms. So there's lots of rooms, and it's right off the ferry. A lot of people stay here because the prices are reasonable. There's lots of beautiful places to stay on Pelee Island, though, if you want something nicer. So Scott, who I went over to the island with, he noticed that there was a turkey running out of the bush. So he went to investigate, and this is what he found. And so he told me to go on over and take a look, and I did. And there's a whole clutch of eggs here. This is from a turkey. So that was kind of neat and interesting to see that, how they got it hidden away like that. Here's the east side of Pelee Island. It's got all sandy beaches on the east side. And over here now, the next thing we have the memorial in 2024. A plane crashed and they had 10 people passed away, lost their lives. Horrible accident. It moved the Pelee Island community quite a bit, and it also made a lot of changes to the airplane flying back and forth. So it was a sad loss of life. Here we are back on the Pelee Islander 2, heading back to the mainland. We're going to be docking in Leamington and heading home for a long few days on the island. Also, we have coming up, there's the new ship that was put into service. So it's all modernized, and right now it's only being used for commercial. So it doesn't have big loads. So that's our Pelee Island trip.